you know. So really, the first and the last time I've ever been in the church before 18 years old was at the moment of my baptism. And that was it. I have never been even once in the church, inside of the church.
Before you were 18.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So, and then something very interesting happened. I mean, obviously you grew up in this culture, which even after communism fell, I think, what you've said is that didn't mean that God came back. I mean, people still lived without God, right?
Yes.
And so people grew up without any sense of how to live and so forth, right? But then something happened with you in terms of an opportunity in the United, a surprise.
A surprise, right? Yes.
Yeah. Tell us about
at that moment, I thought it was a destiny, but later on, I found out this is the will of God. So, and it was so beautiful in a way, although very hard. One day, my mom, she called me to her workplace, and she said, "Sit down. I have something to tell you." She said, "You know that I was I fill you out for this application which calls green card, and this government of the United States give opportunity to several countries, and a lot of them are former Soviet Union countries, to come here to the United States to live and to work, to have opportunity basically to come, and all it does, it really gives you a green light, a green card, green light. You can enter a country without any problem. And so this is what happened to me. And my mom told me that I won that lottery. And I was shocked because I said to my mom, how I'm gonna do this? I don't speak English. I don't know anyone. What am I going to do?
And you were how old at the time?
I was 17 at that time. Yeah. Yes. What am I going to do? She said, you just go. You just go, and if you're not gonna like it or something gonna be difficult for you, you can always come back. You can always come back. And I thought, okay, well, I will try. So when I turned 18 years old, I moved to United States and arrived to Chicago, and to Chicago, and was going on my way to Medford, which I thought was a big city.
Medford, Wisconsin.
Yes. And truly many things been happened to me there. It was probably most difficult time in my life, experiences, and so which led me to that point. The only what could help me then was God.
Mm-hmm. What happened then? What was the turning point for you?
When I moved from Medford to Marshfield, and at that time I started reading the Holy Scripture, and I was fascinated each time I was opening it, because seems these stories were coming alive, and the life beginning to make sense, and so at one point I just felt that if God is Almighty, then He's the only one who can help me. And although I did not understood much who really God is and how this is all work and everything, I just remember one morning I woke up and I said this prayer that God help me, heal me, because I cannot do this on my own anymore. And interesting too that I read just a small passage in one book, and it says, if you want to love God, call Him your Father, and tell Him that you love Him and permit Him to enter into your heart. And so only prayer I knew was Our Father, and then the second was, Father, come into my heart, and which made a very absolutely tremendous significance in my life later, and so I was fascinated by Catholicism in general, and I thought if I would ever choose any religion, that would be Catholic Church. And I was just trying to find any information on the Catholic Church, and I was fascinated by seeing, for example, like old movies, and ladies would be sitting and praying the rosaries. And
you didn't know what the rosary was.
I had no idea.
But it was beautiful. You saw it was something beautiful about it.
Yes. It was so beautiful. It was still. It was just before God.
Quiet.
It was on your knees. And this is before you humbly coming before God. And this is what was fascinating me. And also the priesthood, and generally in the priests when they wear cassock, I thought this is just so incredible. What a witness! What a joy! That they're able to give to the world someone who is so necessary to each heart, and through their hands, the Holy Eucharist sacraments are coming. So I was fascinated by this, and surely I wanted to become a Catholic. And in fact, every day, which I would go to work, I would pass by church in Marshfield, Saint John the Baptist Church, and I so many times wanted to walk in, and there just had no courage. Only when I moved down to Chippewa Falls. Yes, the first time I entered was a Sacred Heart church up in Eau Claire. That was the first, and that was just from this moment I knew that I don't know anything, but I know this is this is truth right there. This is on the altar right there.
So you were on fire with this new faith, right?
That was it was fire. It was really gentle, but very penetrating.
Okay, a gentle fire.
But that fire, which is begin to burn, was really motivating me. I knew that I wanted to do something for God, but what? I want to dedicate my life for Him, but how? I did not know how. And so the only way I knew is to dedicate your life at that moment, just to give yourself for a mission, to become a missionary. And so I thought the greatest mission I could do right now, it is to join Peace Corps organization and go to Africa, Ethiopia, to serve there the poor. And it just like at that moment when it was all developing and I was filling out application, and I understood, just vividly realized that how can I go to Africa if I have my people back in Ukraine? How can I help these people and these people without thinking of my people over there in Ukraine, who's hungry and thirsty for faith? And to share this, I wanted to share it. I did not know how. It was just like the moment of a first a conversion, you would say, a first conversion, when you just ready to do anything. And so it was at this very moment, God helped me to understand that simply it is the mission has to happen in Ukraine, and there has to be something more so by hands than by words.